Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again here to Virtual Racing Network. We're at LIMALAND Motorsports Park here tonight, and I believe I put LIMALAND Speedway. Either way, LIMALAND Motorsports Park for tonight's event. Just under 5 minutes on the clock. We are in the countdown to qualifying, which will be coming up next. So a little car, low on the car count here tonight. So 11 drivers have made the trip. Notable drivers that we're going to be watching for, of course, the 19 of Glenn Reinhardt, as well as the 12 of Trey Smith. Those are two drivers I expect to see in the top 3, top 5 at least. When it's all said and done, everybody will make the feature here tonight. So no worries on that end. Nobody will be left out of the racing action here tonight. So we will be looking to see who is in the winner's circle. Again, that will happen in roughly about 25 minutes or so. We got about 5 minutes to qualify, 3.5 minutes left in practice. And then, of course, we'll have one heat race, I do believe, and then we'll move on to a B main. We've been running B mains all season, even though I don't think we're not going to need it here tonight, but I think we'll probably still see one anyway. We'll see with just one heat if they do go ahead and still run that B main or not, or if we advance everyone right to the feature race. There will be about a 3-minute warm-up in between there. So we will be checking in with some drivers here and there during that little break just to find out how the track is handling and all that good stuff. But again, 3 minutes on the clock. Let us know where you're tuning in from here tonight, who you're cheering for on the YouTube channel there in the chat. Let us know who your driver is for tonight's race. We got a lot of things in the works here for Virtual Racing Network, so stay tuned. You can get the latest on Facebook or heading over to virtualracingnetwork.net. You can also get the latest information there, so make sure to stay tuned to us here on social media with a lot of big things in the works with our partner over at raceontexas.com. Make sure you check them out for all your IRL racing in the state of Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. Of course, coming up this weekend, we do have some go-kart racing. So if you're not a member, make sure you pay that $9.99 a month. You can watch all that on demand, as well as a live pay-per-view coming up, I believe, from RPM Speedway the following weekend, I believe the 7th and 8th. So make sure you get signed up for that. Get your ticket for the pay-per-view when it does open. But again, just under 2 minutes left to go. We want to hear from you who you're rooting for here tonight. Who is the driver that's going to be? Pick it in the chat. Who's the winner going to be for tonight's race? Is it going to be Schmidt? Is it going to be Baldwin, Jansen, Reinhardt, Codavara in here tonight as well, Atkinson, Oldfield, a new driver here, Taken, that is Alan Taken, the number 21, a new driver with us here tonight. We've got some new blood, and we've got some returners, so could we see some of these new guys upset the crowd here tonight and take home the win? We'll find out here shortly, but again, 1:15 on the clock. We're going to go ahead and step away off the mic for the last minute to get last-minute stuff taken care of. When we come back in just under 1 minute, it will be time to go qualifying here at LIMALAND Motorsports Park, so stay tuned. All right, qualifying coming up next. Practice is out of the way. It's time to sling some mud and dirt here in qualifying. As we'll go ahead and bring up your main bar onto the screen. Of course, you're watching the World of Thunder Racing League here live on Virtual Racing Network.net YouTube channel. This is race number 3, and as you can see here, we have some brand new number plates here for the drivers. So we're going to jump down to the drivers as it is. Let's go to TV1 and follow these drivers. We bring up your qualifying bar and brand new number plates here for these drivers until we get their custom numbers in. These are the new numbers we're using for all drivers. The number 23 of Peter Codavara, and he's going to put in a fast time, 12.394. We go over to James Grace, who just got dropped one spot to third with a 12.637, now to fourth. As no surprise, the number 12 of Trey Smith's going to jump all the way to the top position, actually running the number 22, being scored as 12. As we have Travis Oldfield in the number 38 machine. He's going to jump to a third place. He's the one to knock James Grace down a spot, and he's going to get knocked a few more spots. As Brian Cross going to run a 12.429. That will put him into the fourth position. Here at the moment, no surprise to see Cross up towards the front as he's second fastest right now with a 12.259. We go over to one of the new drivers, Alan Taken, who's not on the track. So we'll go over to Glenn Reinhardt in the number 19 machine. Another one of them TSR drivers from Tony Stewart Racing. We'll check him out. Reinhardt right now is ninth fastest with a 12.644. Only separated by 0.477 to the leader. I expect to see a little bit faster lap on his second one as he crosses the line, and it's going to be one spot higher to a 12.555 to 8th fastest on the track. Meanwhile, we go over to Brian Cross, his qualifying is going to go ahead and come to an end. So we are actually going to have 2 heat races. They're going to break them up into 2 different fields. We'll see Jason Deere in there, and we're going to call you Mister, because I don't want to mispronounce that name in chat. But welcome to chat. 2 heat races here tonight, so it is going to break them right down the middle. I thought it might run them in one, just run 11 drivers, but they have it capped here to divide it up. So we will go ahead and get down to the track here for your starting grid here for heat race number 1. It's going to be the 12 of Trey Smith and the 23 of Peter Codavara. Row 2 is going to be the 5 of Jarrett Bullard and the 67 of Miles Jansen. Row 3 in your final row here in heat race number 1 is going to be the 269 of James Grayson. We do not have a number plate that high just yet. And Brady Baldwin in the number 7. That will be your starting grid here for heat race number 1 of 2. And then, of course, we'll move on to the B main and then your feature race tonight. Let us know what you think of the new number plates here. Obviously, getting a brand new set of number plates here tonight. Just finished them up. Obviously, we didn't go up to 267. As we'll have to keep working on. I believe the highest we went was 100. So we will have to work on that as the green flag is going to come out for here for heat race number 1. As it's going to be Schmidt out front. 10 laps per heat race is not very many. You got to make every position and every pass count, every lap count. Codavara right now, right behind Schmidt. And we have Bolin right behind him. You got a nice little battle going on. Let's zoom out a little bit if we could. As you got Codavara in second, but here comes the 5 of Bullard. Bullard not going to settle for second place or third place. He wants second place, but can he get it? It's the question. He's going to keep digging as hard as he can, but can't quite get him as he comes down the backstretch into turn number 3 and 4. He's digging on the bottom while we have Codavara at the top. It looks like Brady Baldwin is not going to make the call here tonight. He is out of the race, 3 laps down now. Smith still out front, battling with nobody. He is all by himself, checked out once again here in heat race number 1. Codavara hanging in there with him as best he can. And we look back, you got to battle Codavara and Roland right there. Boland, sorry, Roland. He had the part of the B covered up. Boland right there battling, but it looks like Boland's going to slide back just a little bit. Now he's back there with James Grace. Grace takes to the bottom of the track. Can't get him going down the front stretch as it's going to be Boland. Bullard out front. Grace going to be just behind him. Miles Jansen a little behind the field, running it up all the way in the wet stuff at the top, but not working for him. We go up to our leader here as we have 4 laps to go. They got 3 to go, and they will come down the backstretch. We may see something here for Trey Smith if Côte d'Ivoire can get to him. Côte d'Ivoire running the high side. We have Smith running kind of in the middle, not at the bottom or at the top. So can he get to him is the question, as we have 2 laps to go, make it 1 to go, as they're already diving into the corner before they ever pass the start-finish line of this track. White flags in the air for Trey Smith, driver of that number 12 machine. He has Côte d'Ivoire right behind him. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. It's not, and your heat race winner 1 is going to be the 12 of Trey Smith. Heat race number 2, getting ready to come out onto the track, as they are all set. We're only going to have 5 drivers here in heat race number 2. I'll be looking to see who those are as soon as they take to the track. And if you're just tuning in with us, you are, of course, watching the World of Thunder Racing League here on virtualracingnetwork.net. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Get it out there to all your friends and family, as we are getting things set to go here for heat race number 2, as we will go ahead and drop down to your grid here on row 1 is going to be the 78 of Brian Cross. On his outside in row number 1 is going to be Travis Oldfield and that number 38 machine. Row 2 is going to be the 22 of Kyle Atkinson and the 19 of Glenn Reinhardt. And row 3, all by himself, running backfield shotgun. That is going to be the 21 of Alan Taken. And that'll do it for your Walls Beard Co. starting grid here in heat races. All right, we are just about ready there. A little warm here in the studio. I have a little cough fit going on. We do apologize for that. Right now, we are just about set to get this thing going here for heat race number 2. 5 drivers here, and all 5 drivers making the call for heat race number 2. Again, it's Cross, Oldfield, Atkinson, Reinhardt, and Taken. As the green flag flies here in heat race number 2, 10 laps on the books. We'll see who comes out on top right now. This heat race does belong to Brian Cross in that number 78 machine, but here comes the 38 of Oldfield. Oldfield not having any part of that. He's going to try to get a lead very quickly. Doesn't happen. He has to settle back for second place. And we've got someone hard into the wall, and they're flipping, and that is going to be the 22 of Kyle Atkinson. He is done, puts it in the pits. His night is done here in heat racing action. He'll come back later on in the feature, as everyone will make it, although he's going to have some damage to deal with in this one. We'll see if he tries to make it back out, but again, heat racing done for him most likely, as he has 2 laps down at the moment. He will have to fight through the B main to try to get a good starting position. Cross still out front. Oldfield trying to run him down in that 38 machine. And Oldfield will zoom in just a little bit right there. You see, started in second. He's still in second. He really hasn't gone forward or backwards. You look just one spot ahead. Neither has your race leader. Started first, and he's in first right now. Oh, a second place. Oldfield gets into the outside wall, and that's going to hinder him big time here in the heat race, as that's going to make his gap back even further. We can't even see the gap there, as it's updating so fast. For everyone, we'll zoom back out here with 4 laps to go here in heat race number 2. Glenn Reinhardt is on the move here. You see that started 4th. He's up to 3rd. He'd like to gain 1 or 2 more positions, but so far just not happening, as he's got a small field. If he'd have been further back, I think he'd have probably picked up more, but this field is just small here tonight, so it's going to be tough, as he's going to try to get that number 19 machine to the front of the feature race, and no doubt he'll probably do it. Meanwhile, right now with 2 laps to go, coming up on 1 to go as he comes down the front stretch. That's going to be your race leader, the 78 of Brian Cross. 1 lap to go, presented by Northwest Racing Series here for the World of Thunder Racing League, as he is set to put it in the winner's circle here for heat racing anyway. And he'll do it right there. Your heat race 2 winner is going to be the 78 of Brian Cross. As we regroup, reset, and next up will be your B main, followed by a warm-up. B main going to be 12 laps. It looks like we're going to have James Grace, Glenn Reinhardt, Miles Jensen, Kyle Atkinson, and Brady Baldwin here. And the B main. We'll go through that grid once they get on the track. But again, everybody will be making it to the feature race here in just, I'd say about 10 minutes or so. But we'll wait for these drivers to take to the grid, and then we'll go through it as James Grace already getting there. So we'll go ahead and drop down to him. Again, we'll bring up your starting grid here for the B main, the 269 of James Grace. On his outside, yet to grid, is going to be the 19 of Glenn Reinhardt. There he is now gridding. Row 2 is going to be the 67 of Miles Jansen, and the 22 of Kyle Atkinson. And on the back of the field here tonight for the B main is going to be the 7 of Brady Baldwin, or would have been Brady Baldwin anyway. He has opted not to start this race, nor did he start his heat race. So he will go ahead and be a scratch all around here for tonight's festivities. So he will receive a DNS for tonight's racing action. We'll see who will join him there with the possible DNF if anybody doesn't finish tonight's race. But as of right now, Brady Baldwin, the only driver here tonight to receive that DNS, as I did not start any of the events here tonight. Well, green flag is out, and we are racing here for the first time in the B main. 12 laps is what is on the books. We'll see how it all plays out right now. James Grace out front, but Glenn Reinhardt trying to run him down on the outside. Going to the line, it's going to be James Grace, the lead lap number 1. Reinhardt not done yet as he's going to take to the outside. Reinhardt takes the lead. Here comes James Grace back on the inside. And it's going to be Reinhardt at the line. He'll lead his first lap of the race as well. And it's showing Reinhardt leading 2 laps. So he must have barely squeezed by that first lap. I didn't think he led it. I thought James Grace had it, but apparently not, as it's going to be scored with Glenn Reinhardt in the number 19 machine. As we'll look, James Grace in that 269 machine has company with the 67 of Miles Jansen. Jansen trying everything in his power. Jansen going to go all the way, and he sends it to the fence, and he will go for a wild ride here in turn number 3, I believe it is, or turn 2, excuse me, and he will pull it to the pits as we go back to the front, and that is going to be Glenn Reinhardt that is out front. James Grace has kind of faded off from him just a little bit. Kyle Atkinson in the 3rd position. And, of course, Miles Jansen there sitting in the pits after a violent ride on the turn 2 wall. As he hit the wall hard and full send right to it. And he was trying to do everything he could to get to the front, and it just didn't quite work. It didn't stick where he wanted it. So that postage stamp needs a little adhesive on it, as it did not have enough to send it. We'll check in with your leader one more time, and he's got a little company coming from James Grace. Grace has actually started to pick it back up here as Reinhardt running all the way at the top nearly, and you see James Grace running pretty much the same line as him. He was varying just a little bit. It looks like he did just then. As we'll watch James Grace here just a little bit. So they are running 2 different lines. They start out the same, but then James Grace sticks it a little bit lower. He's not going quite as high as we have 2 laps to go. White flag's going to be coming out. Almost a slide job there as James Grace is going to take the lead back here with 1 lap to go. White flag in the air. The battle for the lead is underway here with 1 to go, presented by Northwest Racing Series. Now it's going to be Reinhardt taking it to the bottom. Reinhardt flipping hard as it's going to be James Grace that gets the win. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened to Reinhardt as we're fixing to move into the warm-up. But what in the world happened to the 19 of Reinhardt? You see him battling hard. No contact was made. James Grace gets by clean, and not sure what happened. There was maybe a little contact there, and I'm not sure what in the world happened. I think he got the thing. Yes, he was headed right for it, as it's going to advance us either way into the warm-up, so we can't go back and look at that, but I believe he clipped the yellow barrier there, and that sent him for a wild spin. We are, of course, in the warm-up here at the moment, so we're going to step away, and we will be right back here in just under 3 minutes with your starting grid here for tonight's A-Main event. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here for your A-Main event. We had 11 drivers here for 40 laps. Don't see us doing a 4-wide salute here tonight. I did hint they should do a 5-wide salute, but I don't think they took me serious on that offer. But we are getting ready to do some racing here tonight, so we may just run a full 45 lap feature. We'll see if they do indeed take the green, or if they are going to go ahead and do the parade lap. We'll find out here momentarily, as we are checking in on some stuff and getting in some custom numbers. That is one thing we, of course, pride ourselves on here, is getting those custom numbers into the overlays. Obviously, we don't have everybody, so we have number plates that we've been working on. It's regardless of that, we're going to get ready for your starting grid. It's going to have to go quick here. On row 1 is going to be Trey Smith and Brian Cross. Row 2 is going to be the 23 of Codavara and the 38 of Oldfield. Row 3 is going to be the 5 of Bolliard and the 21 of Taken. Row 4 is going to be the 269 of Grace and the 22 of Atkinson. Row 5 is going to be the 19 of Reinhardt and the 67 of Jansen. And row 6, the 11th driver here tonight, is going to be the 7 of Baldwin. And that'll do it here for tonight's Wald's Beard Co. Beard Bomb starting grid, as we are just about ready to get this thing going. We'll see, is this going to be a full actual race, or are they going to do it? And it's not. It's going to be green flag racing time, as we'll get the main bar up there and going. 45 laps on the books here for the A-Main tonight. As right now it's going to be Smith and Cross battling for the lead. Here comes 78 of Cross with the crossover move, as he'll get him at the line. It looks like no. And who's going to get the lead? It's going to be Trey Smith, that's been credited with the lap lead for lap number 1. Smith, though, hanging on to second place. Cross into the front. They're drag racing down the front stretch. As you got one up high, one down low. Cross to the top. As you got Smith to the top, they're going to cross them up one more time here. We'll see how it goes, as it looks like Smith's going to get a little out of shape, get tangled up with the 22, I believe it was, down there. No, sorry, 23 of Codavara. He gets tangled up with him. They keep going up front. Not much going on. Let's go a few spots back here. Jack Grace down at the bottom of the racetrack right now. Codavara right there with him, as they're going to battle right now for 4th and 5th position. And it's going to be a little bit more going on here. Now we have the 5 of Bullard getting involved in this one as well. This track's getting a little dusty. Here it looks like we got some serious dust flying in the corners, especially in turn number 2. So we'll see how that plays into it. Of course, Brady Baldwin did not start the race. He hasn't started at all. Sparks are flying up at the front here in that 38 machine of Travis Oldfield, as he takes it all the way to the high side, hits the wall. Now he goes all the way to the bottom, and he takes it and smacks the wall one more time. This time the wall's not as forgiving, and he goes upside down. We got our first caution of the night, and he gets clipped again by the 23 of Codavara. But upside down goes the 38. Let's go back and take a quick look at this one here. As again, the 38 going for a violent ride here tonight in the A-Main feature event. And so we'll see right about here's where his troubles start. He smacks the wall for about the 3rd time. This time the car didn't let off. Gets a little clip from the 12 as well. And there he gets another clip, and around he goes upside down, bringing out caution number 1 here tonight. Brian Cross, still your race leader here with 9 laps complete. We still have 36 to go. Hopefully everybody out there is enjoying the racing action, as we're about ready to, there it is, green flag back out, and we are racing one more time. It's still Cross, Smith, Boland, Grace, and Codavara going to be your top 5 here, as we are 11 laps in. On lap number 12, we're going to go a little bit where the dust is flying. That's where the cars are going to be, as you're going to see them go 3 wide. We got a good little battle going on right up here. This is a 3 wide battle, at least for a split second it was anyway, as that's going to be the 5 of Bullard, Grace, and Taken that are going 3 wide at certain points, and you got them all over the place right now. That is going to be the 21 of Taken that is running down to the bottom of this track. Him and a very few people are still down on the bottom. Everyone else up at the top. As you're seeing a lot of crossovers, a lot of moves. We're going to go back up as we got a big battle going on for the lead. As that was Brian Cross in the 78 machine that just saw sparks flying as he got it that tail end on the back side or the wall. And we're going to see possibly a change for the lead. And not so much. Cross hangs onto it. Smith trying to get him back. Smith really wants that win here tonight as he is going to go all the way to the top. And there you see the 78 of Cross almost getting shot off that wall like a rocket. He'll clip it and just shoots off of it. And that's indicative of this track. You get up there, you get into it, and as soon as he finds the grip right there, he hauls butt down the track. And that is what he's waiting for. He finds that grip, and as soon as he does, he lets her rip. And away he goes back to the front. Trey Smith trying to find it as well. And that's going to be Cross into the outside wall. He gets a little too much of the grip up there. And, well, lack of grip, I would say. And ends up getting into the outside wall. That may hinder him as Smith out to the front here on lap 20 of 45. Currently 26 laps to go. We go a little further back here. The dust is getting ridiculous for these guys. So we got one going around, and that's going to be James Grace. Is around. Caution is out. Everybody trying to avoid him like ants. Trying to avoid a foot being stomped on. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened. I'm not sure. I think he just got turned around in this dust. And we'll see if he had any help. And right there is kind of the point of no return, but he gets that one saved. And right here just loops it around, I do believe, here in a second. And right there, yeah, oh, no, he does get help as he gets a clip from the rear end. And look at everybody barely touching him, trying to avoid him. As we go back to live, he's going to bring it to the pit for a second. Trey Smith out front leading this race. We'll see how it all ends here tonight. Trey Smith, Brad Cross, been putting on one hell of a show for you here tonight, folks. If you don't like what you're seeing, you might want to check and see if you have a pulse, because you may be dead. As it's been, again, one heck of a race between Trey Smith and Brian Cross here for the race lead, as we're going to stack them up one more time, and the pace truck will dive off as we go racing. It's the 78 of Brian Cross and the 12 of Trey Smith that's putting on the best show for you here tonight. As we may see the 5 of Jared Bullard get into it as well, as he's going to try to make stuff happen as he mingles with the crowd up at the front of this field. Meanwhile, we go a little bit back, and there's Travis Oldfield. And we got somebody smacking the wall, but they keep it going as we stay green. Look at Oldfield up at the very top of this track. He started 4th, he dropped back to 10th, and now he is in 5th position as he is going through that dust pile. And it is hard to see when you get in that dust pile. We're going back to the front because we have another battle for the lead once again between Trey Smith and Brad Cross. It's kind of fizzled itself out here at the moment. Let's go back a little bit. Here come his competitors that may have something to say before this race is over. Again, the 5 of Bullard, the 38 in 4th of Oldfield. All these guys trying to get in. It looks like Oldfield almost getting into Bullard. He has to check up, get way sideways. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. Now he's got Kodavara battling with him in the 23 machine. As this track, again, is just obliterated. It is filthy. And dust flying everywhere, making it hard for these guys to see. The best view in the house is going to be right up here, as we'll go on board with Smith, and you can see nothing obscuring his view as he has got a nice clean path ahead of him. You go a little bit back here and you'll see this dust. Not so much if you're running the bottom down there. That seems to be a cleaner spot to run as far as dust. Meanwhile, you go up here, then the visibility starts to go down quite a bit here, as I'm not sure who that is. That is Kodavara. I'm not sure why the name is not showing up there. For some reason it's not, but we'll go ahead and get back to our main camera, as we'll see if his name is showing up here. It is showing up there. Kodavara, the driver of that 23 machine. Currently running in the 6th position. As we go back front, nothing going on here for your race leader. There is second place, who has fallen back significantly here in the last few laps. And a caution is going to come out. It's going to be for Alan Taken in the number 21 machine. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened here to the driver of that number 21 machine. And so far, a little slower on the track, but not showing any sign of why the caution would have come out for him. And so we're definitely about to find out. Oh, and just right there, just turns it around all by himself and then gets clobbered by Reinhardt in the number 19 machine. And that will, of course, bring out the caution for the third time. So we'll bring up your caution information. And we have a brand new caution sponsor. We'll be announcing more about that come Monday morning. So make sure you stay tuned for that on Facebook, as we will officially be announcing that. 3 cautions, though, here tonight for 9 caution laps, 2 different lead changes, and those lead changes have been between the 12 of Trey Smith and the 78 of Brian Cross. Those 2 different leaders have been the only leaders of this race. Brian Cross and Trey Smith still up front, as we are getting ready to get the green flag one more time here with 8 laps to go. Green flag back out, and we are racing one more time. Trey Smith out front, looking to get the win, and they're going to stack them up 4 wide back in the back of the field here. And they're going to make it like 6, 7 wide going through the corner. That is not going to work out too well. Somehow in the world, I don't know how they made that work, because we got one upside down, and that is going to be Alan Taken, I do believe. That is out of the race now, as he is going to leave the racing surface. Meanwhile, we go up front. It is Oldfield running in the second position for the first time here tonight. He started 4th. He was as low as 10th, and he's sitting in 2nd place right now for the first time tonight. Jared Boland up here, Bollard, sorry, we'll get that right eventually. He is up there as well. Started 5th, he's in the 3rd, and that is the lowest he's been all night. These guys taken to the high side. We'll check in with your leader, who's not running the high side. Keep in mind, he goes up there, but he's not starting down there. He just lets it drift up there. I have a feeling he's just letting that car slide up the track. He's not fighting it, and that's probably why he's as fast as he is. We got a battle going on between Bollard and Oldfield here for the 2nd position, as it's going to be Bollard in the number 5 that has the position at the moment, as it's going to be Oldfield trying to steal it away, but it looks like that pedal has faded away as well. New one starting to creep into the picture. That is the 23 of Codavara. Codavara trying to make it happen here for a 4th position right now. He's still in a solid top 5 with 2 laps to go. Now they get 1 lap to go, presented by Northwest Racing Series. Here at the moment, it is Trey Smith that has this win locked up, as the lights are flashing, and he'll do it. Your main feature winner tonight is going to be the number 12 of Trey Smith. Again, he'll be doing some celebrating, I'm sure. We're going to step away here from a moment, and we will bring in your top 3 into the booth here in just a moment. First, of course, let's go ahead and get your race results onto the screen here. Getting the win is going to be the 12 of Trey Smith. Right behind him is going to be the 5 of Jared Bollard. And the 3rd place is going to be, I believe that's the 38 of Travis Oldfield. And in 4th place will be the 23 of Peter Codavara. 5th place will be the 19 of Glenn Reinhardt. 6th place will be the 269 of James Grace. And the 7th place will be the 67 of Miles Jansen. 8th place will be the 78 of Brian Cross. 9th place will be the 21 of Alan Sakin, and the 10th place will be the 22 of Kyle Atkinson. And rounding out the field here with the DNS, didn't start here tonight, that would be the 7 of Brady Baldwin. Of course, that'll do it for your official or unofficial race results here for tonight's race. We'll go ahead and get that off your screen, as we'll be right back with your post-race show coming up next. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here with the post-race show. And of course, we always start with third place, the new guy here for us to interview. Haven't got to talk to him before. That is going to be the 38 of Travis Oldfield, driver in that third position. First off, congrats on the third place here tonight. Obviously, we haven't got to talk to you. It's our first time getting to interview, so welcome to the booth. And give us your thoughts on this track here. I know with dirt tracks, it's either you love it, you hate it. What are your thoughts on this track, and how did it turn out tonight? Was smooth or bumpy?
It was a little rough. I tend to like my tracks a little bit tackier. We can throw a lot more slide jobs and not have to run so close to the wall. But it was really fun racing with these guys, and I think I got to show up more.
Definitely, it's a blast to come here for the World of Thunder. We love coming out here every night. It's always good, clean racing for the most part. We do have our full moon nights where it gets a little crazy, but overall, it's good, clean racing. You get the third place here. Was there a line here? We saw people on the top, the middle, and the bottom. Was there really a line that was more that preferred line that seemed to have a little bit more speed?
For me, it was the top, but I saw people making the bottom really fast, and when you're coming through traffic, you just got to go where they're not and make moves.
Well, you made the right moves here tonight to get the third place. Obviously, the first race here. You're looking forward to next week and see if you can't try to put it in victory lane.
Oh yeah, I'll be back.
All right, and of course, last but not least, of course, any sponsors on that car or anyone you just want to give a shout out to?
I just got to give a shout out to the normal sponsors, Car Crafters and Topper Town for always helping me out on this.
All right, well, again, congrats on third place, and that will bring us to our second place driver. That is going to be the number 5 of Jared Bullard here tonight. You get the second place. Same kind of question, you know, a lot of the times you love it or hate it. What are your thoughts on this track? And, you know, are you happy with the second place here tonight?
Personally, I like it when it's around the top, and that was definitely the preferred line on this track. It was real tacky around the top, but the whole way from the bottom up until the cushion was pretty slick, and that's kind of the way I like it.
Definitely slick enough here. You know, we talk to these drivers all the time. You have these tires down at the bottom. You know, they're kind of pretty much over halfway buried. Do you like these tracks better where the tires are like that, where they're a little easier on getting around the track versus the tires that are sitting on the track and you could possibly hit them and go for a little ride?
Yeah, I'd prefer the half tires because the half tires you can almost use them to your advantage if you're careful with them. As long as you don't hit them too hard, sometimes you can stick the inside tires beneath them and get a decent little bit of grip coming off the corner.
We would have been waiting to ask someone that, and the perfect answer to that is, again, what a lot of people do. But the high side is where it was at here tonight, and you had a chance to get there. If you think you had maybe a caution and maybe about 5 more laps, you think you could have run down Trey here for the win?
Honestly, probably not. I was probably a third place car behind Trey and Brian. I apologize to Brian about getting him messed up on that restart. I wasn't trying to slide across his nose. I was trying to slide up behind him and Travis because I knew Travis would be ripping the top, and I was stuck on the inside for the restart, and that was definitely not the place to be. And I think he thought I was trying to throw a slider, and he lifted, and we made contact, and it kind of messed him up. So.
Well, again, sportsmanship at its finest. You know, accidents happen on the track. But you know, you got some sponsors and shout-outs for the second place here tonight, so who would those be on that car?
I don't really have any sponsors, but I do want to give a shout-out to Trey, Brian, Glenn, and all the other TSR guys that helped me out with a lot of setups.
All right, well, again, congrats on the second place, and of course, the man of the hour here, a little over an hour, that is. Actually, no, 49 minutes. We have not even been live an hour here tonight. That is scored as number 12, but number 22 on the car. That is Trey Smith, the real-time racer. We've talked to before. A lot of people on here on iRacing, actually real-life racers as well. You put it in a victory lane here tonight. So how does it feel to be sitting in victory lane with the trophy girls and that chicken dinner?
It feels pretty good. This is probably one of the most fun tracks to run non-wing cars at. And I've had a lot of luck at this track, so I'll always look forward to coming here.
Oh, and you know, speaking of having fun coming to this track, we were hearing that the top side would seem to predominate. We did see it slide up to the top, but it didn't seem you were entering up at the top. You were kind of mid to top. Where was that line that you found the best here?
Yeah, this track is always a fine line of when you need to jump to the top. In the heat, I saw Travis coming, and I knew it was time to get off the bottom. And right before qualifying, I turned a lap up top and bottom, and I was 2/10 quicker on the bottom. But on lap 5 of the heat race, the top was coming in, so I jumped up there and barely held on. And then the feature's the same way. You can enter on the wall or you enter in the middle. As long as you get up to the cushion and come off and get your momentum off of it, you're fine. But you're flirting with disaster for trying to enter 40 or 90 times on the wall and not destroying it here is going to be a feat in itself. So I just played it safe, and I've seen the track go this slick before, and I knew that slider line is really hard to beat when it gets this slick. So it was just kind of a little experience there helped for sure.
Well, definitely experience does help. And one last question before we get to your shout outs and sponsors, and it's not about this race. We hear a rumor, we heard through the rumors, we don't know if this is 100% true, but if the update that's coming out here for the 4th is indeed getting rid of caution laps counting, how big of an impact do you think that's going to change the racing here for World of Thunder and dirt in general, with those laps not counting, and you'll have 10 to 12 laps extra of racing each race?
Yeah, that's actually going to make it extremely cool. The game's already pretty realistic, but when that's always been a big problem with dirt racing and headaches of how you want to do races, cautions on, no cautions, judgment calls, stuff like that. But yeah, it's going to make it great once they need to get rid of. They need to go back to the last lap also of who led the last lap, and that's who's in the lead. Just like it's like real. So I'd like to see that also. But also I'd like to thank TSR, 19 Designs, Rico the Fatheads, Glenn, Nelson, Wade, Brian, Jared, Brandon, everyone in the shop and in Discord here. We're a good group of guys.
Definitely a big shout out to all three here for the top 3. And yes, iRacing, if you're listening, go back to the last completed lap, and that be the leader. That is how it should be at any racing event, whether sim or real life. That being said, we are done here tonight. We are going to wrap things up. We hope you have a great rest of your night. I know we will. We'll see you back here Sunday with some Adrenaline iRacing League as we are off the rest of the week, headed up to Duncan, Oklahoma for some real-life go-kart race filming. And then, of course, make sure you go to raceontexas.com, sign up, and get your tickets for the live pay-per-view out at RPM Speedway, and we will see you Sunday night.